Do you know every one of us are always selling throughout our life? If I talk about business owners, they sell their products. Self professionals, they sell their products. If you go to a job interview, you sell your skills. During your job, you sell your skills. While getting married, you sell your values, right? So in every area of your life, you're selling something. My name is Satyam. I am host for today's episode and founder of Braino Script. And in this episode, we have a special guest, Anamika Raman. She's a business coach, a sales trainer, a corporate trainer, as well as TEDx curator. She's going to talk about selling with purpose. Why is it important to sell with purpose, and lot more questions? She is going to answer lot many questions, and you are going to get lot many insights and knowledge about selling, about the skills, because what I think is selling is one of the most important skill. So let's get inside. Thank you so much, Anamika, for being here in this show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Satyam, for having me here. It is an honor to be on your talk show and discussing about purposeful selling. So yeah, looking forward to the session today.
Yeah, because even I think that selling is one of the most important skill, and every should, no matter his background, her background, like maybe a person from sales background, maybe not from sales background, everyone should know these skills. And that's why we are into this episode, selling with purpose. And I would like to start with the name itself. What do you mean by selling with purpose, and why is it important?
Okay. So before getting into purposeful selling, let me ask you a small question.
Sure.
You must have heard this saying, people like to buy, but do not like to be sold.
Yes.
What do you think is the meaning?
um what I think is, if someone will force me, that is where I think I'm, uh being sold.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to purchase something, that is what I'm buying. That's what I decoded like this.
That's true. So, most of the time, what happens is like whenever we are buying or we are going to, maybe checking out like any product or anything as such, we see that people kind of get manipulative. People kind of start using, techniques which we don't feel comfortable about. And this is sort of maybe an incident that happens with everyone, because everyone out here is in some or the other way a customer, right? And
Right.
everyone goes to buy something, but at times they feel that, oh, why did I buy this thing? It is just waste of money. Oh, I got cheated. Or and it is kind of a overkill for me right now. They just duped me, sort of. So
True.
what happens is like this is a a mentality that is being developed within people, that salespeople will cheat you just to get their sales number up. So this notion leads to a sort of a hate, or you can say a dislike, not exactly hate but a dislike amongst
Right.
people, that okay, should I go for buying or not? And that's the main reason why even I advocate purposeful selling is important, because purposeful selling is actually revolving around the problem, providing solution to that particular problem.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are providing solution to a problem, what happens is you don't have to force people to buy. You don't have to use all those techniques, or you don't have to use all those jargons, features, name, oh, I have, almost 100 features. Would you like to buy? Nobody is interested into features. All they are interested about is, how can this particular product solve their problem? That's why purposeful selling is really important.
Yeah, because they don't like to be trapped or being cheated, right?
Right.
Got it. So it's like a pull kind of marketing, pull selling.
Right. So
It's not
you
push
kind
one.
of create that importance
Mm-hmm.
without, putting yourself out there. Oh, please buy this product, or force fitting it to the customer. Rather, you're trying to connect with your customer in a genuine way. So how do you do that is by, really getting interested into their problems. And how can you do that is by asking them right questions. When you start asking people the right questions, they slowly open up and they try to, identify with you, and they help you to actually provide them a solution. Because see, as a seller, the seller wants to sell the product, but
Right.
as a buyer, even the buyer needs the product. But the miscommunication or the connection doesn't happen. The reason being, the right value that needs to be created is not created somewhere. So
True.
that's how selling will help you in creating that value, along with that connecting with your customer in the right way, creating a differentiation factor. Because see, nowadays when we go online, offline, everywhere, you see a lot of products out there, right? But which product to buy or which is the right fit for you is kind of difficult to identify even for the customers. Yes, with online systems available, you get those reviews, ratings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But if you have somebody out there who can help you with, okay, what is your exact problem, give you that, hyper customization, then you would be
True.
more than happy to buy this product. And that's the reason most of the successful companies don't have to push their product onto the customers. They just go to the store and buy it. So, yeah,
True. True.
that's
That's true.
what purposeful
Yeah.
selling is.
Great, Anamika. All right. So now most of the people are selling digital products nowadays. Okay. Even we are doing so in Brain Strip. And most of them who are doing offline the physical product, they are also trying to move on digital space. Now I just want to know what is the key difference between the digital selling and physical or offline selling.
Okay. So, digital selling got popular just recently, right? Like
Yes.
after the start of the internet and, e-commerce, things like that. Initially, it was more about person to person selling, and it was a face to face interaction that used to happen. And
Yeah.
it is still being followed, yes. So that's known as offline selling, wherein you go to the store, you go to the retail stores, you go to the malls, wherein there is a face to face interaction happening. But
Mhm.
when we talk about online, it is more about the websites, social media platforms, email marketing, and things like that, wherein you are virtually getting to know about this product rather than taking a touch and feel of this product. So that's a major difference between both. There is like advantages and disadvantages of both. When you
Uh-huh.
are into offline selling, you have that benefit that you can see the customers cues, right?
Right,
Whether
right.
they are getting interested, whether they are not, and based on that you can tweak your pitch, and you can help the customer in a better way. Whereas in online you can't do that, because you can't really see the face of the person, whether what they are exploring and stuff. What you can do is maximum provide your catalog or your information out there, which is pretty visible to them, and they make the decision, right? So you have to get that onto your back of your mind, that okay, this could be the probable questions that they might be having in their mind, and you have to create that deck already. So
Right.
that's the major difference. Along with that is like, data nowadays, right, is very much important. People are so much behind data, they're utilizing this data. With online method, what happens is like you have access to all those datas out there.
True.
So you can do a lot of, you can play around with that thing, because whenever you must have seen this thing, right? Like whenever you are you have typed something on Google, or even with this nowadays, even with the speech thing, you say something, you already start seeing those in front of you all together. Like suppose you are looking for a shoe, or you were talking about the shoe, you suddenly start seeing shoes
Right.
everywhere, right? So that is not telepathy, of course. That is actually a way of tracking your conversation
Yes.
or your search, and that's how it starts popping up in front of you.
That is the real meaning of web, I guess.
Yeah, right. So it is like really networking it out, and bringing it out to you in front of you, so that you can explore the products out there and just get in whichever product you really want. And in terms of reviews also, it helps a lot, because with offline thing, you have to go to this particular store. But what if somebody has not bought from that particular store? Like if my friend tells me, okay, you can get this product from that store, I would definitely go, right? But if a new store comes up, I would be really skeptical. Okay, should I buy that from there? or should I, really
Right.
invest into that product and stuff. But when it is online, you have all those ratings available, right? You have all those
Mhm.
reviews available, and with description, with pictures, everything to, support all these things. So that goes a long way. So that's how online, offline is a good to have thing, that online has its own advantage, and offline has its own advantages and disadvantages. And nowadays, what is in popularity is omni-channel. So
Okay.
people believe more into getting into omni-channel. Omni-channel means you are on all the, platforms out there. So the
Everywhere.
best example would be, Sugar Cosmetics, or, Nykaa for that matter. They're
Right.
online, offline, everywhere. You can just go around and, shop it all. Even with Netflix, Netflix is available on different interfaces, right? It's available on TV, it's available on mobile. It just
Mhm.
gets configured so nicely, and along with that, it provides you hyper personalization, which is not
Right.
available when you go for a offline thing, right? Offline may, it is like, I have this thing, sir, madam, if you want to buy, you can. I can't
Right.
offer you much more than this. But when it comes to online, you can provide all those things all together, mix it up, and give that bundle to your customer as per their need.
Got it. Perfect, Anamika. Now I would like to go back to that topic, purpose selling, right?
Okay.
So in this, we don't want to push people, we want to pull them, attract them by
Right.
knowing their needs, by knowing their motivation.
Right.
Now the problem here is how to identify the needs and motivation of our potential buyer.
Okay. So, in order to sell purposefully, the best thing that you need to do is listen, actually actively listening to your customer. What are they saying? What are they actually trying to say, trying to convey? Most of the times, what happens is, like, whenever a salesperson is talking to a customer, it's mostly taken on the face value. Whatever
Mhm.
they are saying, that's it, right? But when you get into active listening, what happens is, like, whatever the customer is saying, you are kind of processing it in your mind. You are trying to create a conclusion out of it, or trying to understand what the customer is actually trying to convey through their words, through their body language.
Hmm.
And that's how active listening happens. So that can be one thing which can help you in, identifying the need of the customer in the right sense. Next, what you can do is do some market research around it. So when, suppose you're working into some geographical areas, like, suppose for that matter, if you're into Pune, if you're into Hyderabad, if you're into Chennai, the needs of all the customers out here will be more or less same, but yes, they will have their own differences, right? Like, suppose it could be any product, like areas where there is more rains. Okay, they will be more interested into buying all those rainy things and stuff like that. A location where, or geographical location where, suppose winter is really severe, you can sell, winter products more there as compared to hotter
Right.
regions.
Mhm.
So this kind of market research needs to be there. There needs to be a utilization of the surveys as well. You can do a lot of things around this, because there are already tools available which can help you identify this customer needs. Like, there is NPS, which is the Net Promoter Score, which you see after using all the apps. I'm sure, like, every one of us uses app, like either it's Uber, Ola, or food
Right.
apps, anything.
Mhm.
You see that rating thing, right? Like, you give the 4 3 3 4 star based on
Mhm.
your likability. And that is known as the Net Promoter Score. You can do polls, you can do group discussions, that is the focus group discussions, in order to identify what your customer exactly needs. So this could be one thing. Next, what would really help is persona development. So if you could create a straw man, like, what does your customer look like? Suppose you are bringing up a new product in the market, and you want to promote it, but you probably don't know how to promote it or whom to promote it.
Home
So
to
in order
promote.
to understand whom to promote it, you should create a use case around it. Okay, so how is your customer like? What is their age group? Where do they stay? What are their likings? What are their preferences? uh, their genders, as of course. Where do they stay? Along with that, all those things. What is their financial status like, and how educated they would be, and what are basically, and overall, also in addition to that, psychographic things. So if you could get all the parameters charted out there in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
it will really benefit to chalk out a nice persona of your customer, and you just have to scale it up. So that's
Got
a
it.
good way of actually identifying the need. Next would be actually collaborating. These days
Okay.
people don't work in silos. It's very popular that we see all those social media platforms, for that matter, that people try to create, people like to collaborate, they like to share. So utilize all those things together, and like try to identify that where your customer is, what are their likings, and identify that how can you get better insights in order to develop those products for your particular customer. So yes, the market is wide. There is a lot of data available out there. Just take
Mm-hmm.
this data, skim it out, and provide the solution to your customer based on those particular data. And that will be really possible only if you do active listening, and actually do the feedback analysis properly. Then you would be able to bring a product that would actually satisfy the needs and motivations of your potential customers.
Got it. Thank you so much, Anamika, for this. Um, I hope many people got to know lot many things, and they will now actually do something to know the needs of the potential customer. So it is basically in simple language, ask your customer what is your need,
Yeah,
right?
it's as simple as that.
All right. People say that storytelling is one of the most important skill you should know while selling. I don't know. I'm not good at it. Okay. So, what your take on it?
So regarding storytelling, storytelling is actually a good method of communication, rather. Uh, Being Indian, or not only Indian, being like across the globe, people
Hmm.
resonate with stories. They like stories. They resonate with real-time stories. They resonate with emotions. They resonate with the experiences that people have,
Hmm.
and they like to get the learnings out of it rather than getting into a preachy mode. So
Okay.
just to take an example, what was the last movie that you saw?
Recently I saw Bhola.
Sorry, which one?
The Bhola, Ajay Devgan.
Okay, okay, okay. So what did you like about the movie?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Okay, why?
Actually, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, but I don't like that.
Okay, okay. Let's take another example. Like, which is your favorite movie?
Okay. My favorite. Bajirao Mastani. Yeah.
Bajirao Mastani. What did you like about it?
The performance and even the story, the the glorifying of Maratha Empire and what Bajirao did at that time. Yeah,
Right.
the person.
Okay, great. So see, we connect with stories, right? We used to read all these stories in our school days, in our history books, right? But it became more interesting when it was having this visual appeal, this grandeur built around it, and in a way music added to it, and in a way personalization, emotions evoking to it. So the
Right.
entire angle of storytelling just changed. And a topic, many times people don't like reading history. Some people do enjoy reading history, but some people don't.
So,
But whatsoever, if you like history, you don't like history, but still you will enjoy the movie.
no.
Why? Because the way it has been picturized, the way the storytelling happens, the way it has been put sequence after sequence with music, everything added to it, all the elements of cinema added to it, it just gives you a good time, and you enjoy the movie. So similarly, storytelling is also having a critical role in selling, because when you are selling, people connect with stories, right? It's been
Yes.
said that people buy with emotions and then add logic to it. Most
Right.
of the times whenever we buy, we know that okay, we came into that emotional thing and we bought the product. And then we say, oh, okay, even though it was out of budget, but theek hai, I will, maybe cover it up next time, and I'll just reduce my expenses and stuff like that, right? That's
True.
how human mind works, right? You buy the product based on your emotions and then give logic to it. And similarly, if you start selling that way, what happens is like, you have to engage with your customer emotionally. For that, in order to establish that deep connection with your customer, you need to at least start talking to them and craft stories around your product. You can see most of the successful brands out there have a story.
Right.
Like if I want to take an example into cosmetics industry or personal care industry, it would be Forest Essentials. Forest Essentials, Kama Ayurveda, you see them in the airports, right? They are like luxury beauty brands. How do they connect to people is that these brands, they craft nice stories around them. Okay, they are helping this underprivileged people, they're helping the farmers out there who are not able to afford their daily means, and that's how they are creating this product. And by uh, buying this product, you will get this feeling of empowerment. Okay, you are helping out somewhere, some people out there. So
Right.
that's the whole stories that's been crafted. I just want to share this one incident that happened. I was in Udaipur for a holiday,
Okay.
and I was just exploring the, artifacts over there. And there
Mm-hmm.
was a salesperson, and he was so wonderful at storytelling. He just sold us a lot of things that is only on the basis of story. He said, okay, we have this Maharaja's decorative piece, which is a must have in a house, because it will it will just add to your decor and things like that.
Right.
There's this lucky things, there's a horse, elephant, and a cow, which will which will be a good charm for your house. So things like that. You need to learn that when you uh, engulf your product along with all these stories, it becomes an interesting thing, and that's what people connect with. So this is one factor. Along with that, you have to show it to people that through storytelling, telling that yes, it will add value to you, it will add
Mm.
benefits to you. When you make it intangible to them, because when it is tangible, you just measure it with numbers, right? You have to
Right.
bring that intangible element. One example that I would wish to give here is whenever you visit a 5-star hotel,
Mm-hmm.
the ambience is completely different, right?
True.
You see a neat and clean space, well dressed people, music, subtle music out there, a good aroma out there, right? So the entire ambience that's been created actually persuades you, and takes you to a level that okay, you are at a very nice place, and that gives you a feeling of satisfaction. So
True.
that's again a subtle way of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Make it relevant to people. Most of the time, what happens is like people use this wrong practices of selling, and they kind of force fit people. Don't do that. It is like, make it relevant to people that why should somebody buy this product based on your stories. So you have to customize a story according to the need of that
Neat.
customer, and then sell those products. You can use visuals, metaphors, you can use analogies. These also work a long way in selling. And structure your story, basically create a narrative. Along with that, make it interesting to them. When you
Mm-hmm.
think okay, the person is liking it, you give them that touch and feel of the product, and then you get them enrolled, because when to stop and when to start, that's also a critical thing in selling.
True.
So that's all about the storytelling.
Got it. So basically, a story, through a story, people will connect with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. The trust will build between you and your customer, and they'll get to know more about the intangible part of your product. Right.
Absolutely.
All right. So now I just want to ask you, what are the red flags you have to keep in your mind while selling?
Okay. So red
You have
flag.
answered few. I know you have answered few already. So just redo it
Yeah,
again for
just
people.
just to bring to your and the viewers uh, to get a perspective of things, let me just reiterate it and regarding the red flags. It's
Uh-huh.
like, don't over promise. Most of the time what happens is like in the pressure of sales, mostly people over promise, like, which are
We'll give
totally
you this, this,
unrealistic.
this, this.
Yeah, we have all those, you have all those claims, guarantees, everything coming up, which might
Hmm.
not be the case. So this actually adds up to a lot of disappointment amongst your customer if you do this, and it also in a way damages your credibility, because once you have damaged that credibility, it is very difficult to get back that from the customer. So rather,
Right.
don't attempt into over promising.
Got it.
Don't use high pressure tactic is another one. That is, certain people get into this, due to the sales pressure. Also, many a time sales professionals, what they do is, you know the sales pressure starts translating into their tactics. That is, they
Hmm.
just want to, sell as many units as possible, and they try to create that sense of urgency. And due to
Right.
which the customer, even if they are not willing to buy, they feel that, it's been a, that this there is a lot of push happening, and this in a way creates a hate or it's a dislike within the mind of the customer towards a brand.
Hmm.
So you need to avoid
Avoid it.
that. Yeah. Then, many a times people don't give a complete transparency of the product or the services that they are hiring. So there are like miscellaneous costs, then there are certain hidden costs, which
Hmm.
leads to the customer getting annoyed later on, because see, at the end of the day, the customer is going to get to know, like, there is this added on
True.
cost, or there is this, maybe the terms and services has certain, fine prints which they probably the customer overlooked. So, which probably the sales professional didn't highlight. So this also leads to a dislike amongst the customers. So,
True. They'll
try
feel
to create.
cheated.
Yeah, right. So try to create that informed decisions uh,
Hmm.
with your customers. Then next thing that you need to take care of is, never ever ignore your customers' concerns. So
Hmm.
what happens is like, sales professionals, they sell the product, they do all those things that, the after the payment is done, the product is being delivered, they kind of disappear out, they are out of sight, right? And this can again be a problem with the customer, because the customer is, whenever they are getting associates, see, this is like a long term relationship that you develop with your customer. So even if you have sold the product, your relationship doesn't end there. You have to be in touch with them. You have to provide solutions to their problem. You can't really dismiss it out, or downplay your customers concerns. So basically,
True.
they need to be addressed respectfully, and a helpful solution needs to be provided to it. And never misinterpret what the product is offering to the customer. So many times, out of excitement, or say out of pressure, salespeople tend to exaggerate the product altogether. So
Hmm.
don't
They
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah. And sort of hide the limitations also. So don't do that. Whatever it is, just give the right, uh I would say, right information to the customer. Even the customer is intelligent enough, right? So they know what the body language is, and what the words are, and what the tone is. So don't ever try to outsmart the customer. You shouldn't have that kind of a mindset. So need to be really careful with that. And basically give the support even after the sales. So when
Hmm.
you are prospecting so hard to get your customer on board, it is also important to give them the post sale service and support that is much, much required. So don't leave your customer halfway. So attend to them. Yeah.
True. And to your last point, like, it is very important to give after sales support for, I would say, customer retention,
Absolutely.
right? Because selling is one part, retention is another.
Right.
If you can sell multiple products to one customer, that is how you are making a proper business, right?
Right, right.
And it needs a good product or service, as well as you have to build a relationship with the customer as well for that. So
True,
can you
true.
give me some tips how to build that relationship with customer, so that the customer will come to you again and again and buy from
Okay. So even with the customer, it's like a long-term relationship that you need to maintain, because we are
you?
dealing with emotions, right? We are dealing with humans. So
Yeah,
we need to use all those methods which we would otherwise use to develop a relationship or maintain a relationship. So the first thing would be to provide value. It's not only about the product, but it is also the conversations that you have with your customers.
okay,
So you need to be mindful about what you're saying. You providing any kind of a value to the person that you are talking to along with the product? Is there something that you are providing extra to the customer, as in terms of how can they better use it, how can they avoid what should be the do's and don'ts of the product also, which most of the salespeople overlook. They kind of give away the product, and that just reaches the person, the customer, and they are just not available after that. So provide value, that is much needed, because based on this value, you will get the feedbacks, you will get the referrals, you will get a long term benefit. That is, we also say, right, customer lifetime value, that can be enhanced through providing value to your customer in the right way. In addition to that, you can do active communication, proactive communication also. That is, give all the updates to your customers, give what the features are available, what are they, what your company is coming up with, what are your next plans and stuff like that. So
right,
this way, you are still in connect with them. You can always go to them, check with them regarding the uh, you know uh, referrals, or in terms of better understanding of the product that they are using. So you will get a lot of insight from your already existing customers when you are trying to prospect. So once in a while, do drop into them and check with them how things are, so that way you're building up a good relationship, or text them, so or wish them, so that goes a long way. You generally need to also build trust with them. So
true,
it's been said, it's very difficult to get trust from people, and it's very easy to lose it also.
lose it.
So
Okay,
be honest, be transparent, and have that integrity, that uh, see, before selling your product, what we sell is our personality. So why should
yes,
somebody buy from you, or why should somebody even hear you out, is a major thing, right? So if you want to stand out as a sales professional, or if you really want to stand out as a good marketeer out there, and you want people to be buying from you, so you need to create that kind of an personality. You need to create that kind of a community around you. With that,
right,
what happens is, like, people would be really interested to buy from you. So a best example is, I was, I'm also a corporate sales coach. So I
mhm,
was conducting this session with a company, and I was just talking to this candidates out there, and one of them just shared a very beautiful experience that they had. I would like to share here as well. So this particular lady, who was actually an she was a user of their product.
okay,
So she liked this product so much, and the way it has been, they take care of everything, that is the sales, pre-sales, post-sales, everything is so brilliant, that she actually applied for job in this particular company, and she got
wow,
selected, and she is now an employee.
great.
Yeah. So that's the kind of uh, perception you can create about your particular brand, if you really strive for it. So yeah, that's how you can really work on creating that long term relationship with your customer.
Wow, Anamika, you have actually opened the door, like, it's like a bulb on. That it is not just about selling and getting that one sale. It is, bigger thing. All right. Uh, Suppose there is a person listening to this talk, okay, and he's a new sales professional, maybe a owner, business owner, okay. Now, just to address him or her, just tell the major challenges or obstacles people face while trying to sell something and how to overcome it.
Okay. So the biggest problem that happens with any salesperson, or even with an entrepreneur or a business owner who is, just starting out, or a solopreneur for that matter, is that the fear of rejection. So that's
Mhm.
the major thing that hits people, that,
Yes.
uh, they take it very personally. It can be discouraging to them. And due to this, many a times people avoid, putting their product out there or speak about their product.
True.
So that's the major, challenge that a salesperson does, face. And what you can do to overcome it is like, never attach, your sales calls end result to your self-worth.
Mhm.
If somebody says no to you, that's completely okay. It's not a no to your personality. It's a situational thing. Probably the person didn't need that product at that moment, or they are not the decision maker, or they don't have enough funds. There could be multiple reasons why they are not going with the product. So, you need to develop that resilience, or that muscle, in order to accept that rejection and not take it personally. So
Yes,
that is
actually
one.
true. I resonate with this
Okay.
because when we have started, we used to do this, in a call. If less people buy the product, then we used to think, no, there is something wrong with the product. We have to tweak it every time we sell. Then we'll get to know, no, it is the law of average, and you have to go with this. Everyone doesn't buy with you right now. Maybe
Right,
they'll get get along later. But
right.
yeah, it's you have to register this fact that yeah, it is how it is.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, there's a law of average. It's like not everyone is your customer. We need to get that straight in our minds, that not everyone is our customer. It should be right fit. That
True.
should be, that's why the persona thing that we referred to initially helps you, because not everyone is your customer. Not everyone wants that product. And if you are going beyond that, then you're force fitting your product to someone who doesn't need it. So it actually devalues your offering. So
Yes, yes. True,
rather,
true, true.
you know just work with people who really need that product, so that will help you scale your business up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anamika, for this. I don't want to stop this conversation now, but yeah, we have to.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Anamika, and sharing your knowledge and experience with me, with the audience, and everyone. Thank you so much.
Glad. Thank you so much
I,
for having me. I had a fantastic time. Thank you.
Same here, and I would like to thank audience as well. Thank you for being here till the very end, and please use, if still you're not a sales professional, I know it, but if you're here, selling is one of the most important skill, and you should know it. Everyone should develop the skill. Okay, so please start working on it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have got a lot of value from this episode. And it is so, then please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow Braino Script in other social media handles as well. If you have anything, any suggestion for us, please let us know in the comment section. I would like to thank once again Anamika for being here and sharing so much knowledge with us, with our audience. And people who are still with us, I just want to see every one of you in the next episode as well. Till then, bye bye.